guys probably have already seen my spoiler-free review of Godzilla vs. Kong. You know that I very much enjoyed this film and thought it was a pretty awesome versus movie. So today I'm going to be talking about the spoilers for the film. I'm going to try and go as cohesive as I can. There really isn't much spoilers that I'll say, but there's one major spoiler here that I really want to talk about. And so, if you still have not seen the film, get out of here and come back to this review then. So, what I really love about this film is how it ties in the mystery of Godzilla and what is actually going on with that monster. Because when we open the film, we open the film with King Kong, and he is stuck in a containment center, and he's being held in a place that's supposed to look like he's in Skull Island, but he really isn't. And he's being looked over by some people to make sure that Godzilla doesn't find him, because there seems to be some sort of rivalry between two monsters. And so they do not want any damage done anywhere with these two knowing that they exist. I thought that was a pretty cool idea, though I will say it doesn't. I would like for the movie to explain how they got King Kong there a little more deeper. Like, I want to see how Kong ended up here. Like, maybe show us a little flashback. It would be nice, but it's fine. It's a good start. But about Godzilla, he all of a sudden started tearing up the city. And in the trailer, it seemed like he's just tearing up a random city out of nowhere, out of the blue, right? Apparently in the film, it actually says he's only destroying mostly the Apex building, in which they are a mechanical engineering company, and they're sort of like the antagonists of the film, and they are up to some pretty shady stuff. So they want to kill Godzilla now that they think that Godzilla is no longer the good guy, he's no longer the savior, and they had to bring in Kong. They need Kong to get to the Hollow Earth and get something there, get some samples. The villains need the samples for some reason. And what we find out about Millie Bobby character's subplot is that they are actually trying to find some samples from the Hollow Earth to power up their Mecha Godzilla. That's right, Mecha Godzilla is in this movie. And my God, he is absolutely amazing. Mechagodzilla here opens with tearing up a skull crawler that they got from Skull Island in half. And it was brutal monster violence that I wanted to see. And so you already get a sense that this mechanical monster means business. And so that's why Godzilla is on a rampage. He's trying to find where this Mecha Godzilla is, where this new apex predator is, so he could take him down. But he doesn't know that they're making him seem like Godzilla is the one tearing down everything and being the new bad guy. And so it makes the conflict with him and King Kong all the more understandable, because they need King Kong to get to the Hollow Earth to get that sample ready. They need Kong to lead them there. And so they're the reason why these two characters had to fight, because they're sort of after kind of the same thing, just with different ways of getting there by the human characters, which brings them up to my point from the spoiler-free review. The human characters actually propel the story along beautifully. Even though they're not the most complex characters, they actually serve a point to the story and the monster madness. And again, I had to reiterate, the special effects here look amazing. I especially like the neon lights that they use for not only the Hollow Earth but for Hong Kong. It just made for a beautiful fight environment. It was such a cool fight with Godzilla coming in. And I gotta say, there are more fights here against these two characters than there were in the Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice fight and the Freddy vs Jason fights. This is a true versus battle. First round, Godzilla wins. Second round, it was King Kong, and then a little bit of a third round, you have Godzilla coming back again. There were like 2.5 fights. It really earned the title of Godzilla vs Kong. That's what I was scared in this film. How they're not going to fulfill the promise completely and are just going to build up to the fights around. No, they waste no time. You know you're here for Godzilla vs Kong. And you get that through many scenes. And they are awesome. You get long, wide shots of the monster tearing down the city. And it was so entertaining, so much fun. Then you get to the final battle when they eventually have to fight Mechagodzilla. It was so cool. That final battle with the two monsters actually teaming up to get Mechagodzilla, it felt more earned than in anything in BVS. It was such a good versus movie. I have to say that. Also, I have to say the villains are so campy. Like, you know that they're just immediately are gonna die. The first one to go is Azealia Gonzalez villain, who's the daughter of the main villain, who's there to get the samples. You can already tell that she was gonna be a villain from the beginning. A sexy, beautiful Hispanic villain that gets crushed by Godzilla, not Godzilla, but by King Kong in a laser jet. And so she's the one to go first. Then the villain, the main villain, gets crushed by the creation. And the guy who is supposed to be the pilot of Mechagodzilla gets electrocuted. These villains are campy, and they deserve those over-the-top deaths. And it was just so much fun. It's basically a brainless movie. Don't go into this film thinking it's going to be high art. It is not high art. It is supposed to be dumb, fun, and sheer popcorn entertainment. If you go into this movie thinking you're going to get a cinematic work of art, you are going to hate this film. I think that's why a lot of people kind of not like this film, I heard, because they expect more. It's Godzilla vs Kong. That is what you're going to get, okay? It's two monsters fighting. What about that is supposed to be high cinema? It ain't. It's supposed to be dumb fun, and it knows it. It's well directed, the special effects are very good and everything, the editing is very good, cinematography is beautiful, and in some ways, I will say it does try to have a good story, and I'll say in that aspect, you could classify it as art, but again, you have to turn your brain off a lot in order to get through some of the more over-the-top elements, like the Hollow Earth and Mechagodzilla, and basically the monsters in general. Overall, I just had a really good time with this film. Again, as I said, not much spoilers except for Mechagodzilla and some plot points on to get to that main spoiler. There's no post-credit scene. There's nothing set up for the future, and I actually kind of like that. This is like supposed to be the main build-up, like the Avengers of the Monsterverse, and I think it earned all of its praises. This is such a good movie, and you should definitely check it out. Thank you guys so much for watching. People like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys next time.